Are you ready to start piecing together our quilt and doing the border blocks? Let's go. Hey Kimberbell friends, Cristin here, and we are continuing our progress on the vintage Boardwalk quilt. So today we get to start piecing our quilt together, and that also means working on the border blocks. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I have decided that I am going to put multiple border blocks into one hoop, and I will show you how to do that. It's just a way to save on stabilizer. You can do each border block individually in small hoops. That works totally fine. Or you can merge them together using software to save on stabilizer and probably a little bit of time. Either way works totally fine, and I will show you how to do it if you decide to merge them together. So for today, we have 5 border blocks that we're going to work on. I'm going to give you the specific sizes and the information on the batting and the quilting, but just so you know, I cut my border block fabrics 1 inch larger than what is measured in the booklet. But for those that pre-cut, that's totally fine to use the sizes that are in the guide. That works totally fine. I chose to do mine 1 inch larger just so that the basting stitch will catch, just to make sure the basting stitch will catch, although I might not even use that, and I'll have to cut them down afterwards. So do what works for you. If you've already cut your fabrics, then you should be all good to go. Just so you know, I changed my mind about doing the 1 inch extra fabric around the border blocks. It's too hard to get all of the fabrics away from each other, and there's extra room. There's no need for it. So I'm going to cut the regular size, maybe a little bit bigger, but not a full inch. So we'll see more on the next section. So let's talk about what we need for our fabrics. So number 36, block 36, is this light green carnival fabric, and we need this one to be 4.5 by 2.5, and that means that we want our batting to be 5 by 2. It's always a 1/2 inch larger than our final cut size. So 4.5 by 2.5, 5 by 3. All right, and then for this first border block, the one that is 4.5 by 2.5, I chose plaid, and for the plaid, it is 4 by 2 quilting. 4 by 2 quilting plaid for this first border block. This is number 36 for us. All right, so for number 37, it's the small 2.5 by 2.5, and like I said, I cut mine 1 inch larger on both sides, just to see how that works. But if you've already pre-cut, you'll be fine with 2.5 by 2.5. And so our batting for this one, this is number 37, our batting will be at least 3 by 3. So always a 1/2 inch larger than our cut size. So on this one, I've chosen Swirl 2. That's that pretty flower. I think that would be a really cute one for this little block. So Swirl 2, and since this one is 2.5 by 2.5 cut size, that means we want our quilting design to be 2 by 2. So Swirl 2 on this number 37 in 2 by 2. All right, moving on to number 38. 38 is this really pretty, it's like a light tan. It's not really white. I'm not sure what that background is, but with all the cute swimsuits, how cute is this? I love it. So on this one, this is number 38, and we are going to cut our fabric to 3.5 by 4.5. And so our batting is 4x5 for the batting for this one. Now this one and the next one, we are going to have to adjust our quilting because there isn't a 3x4 quilting design. So what I did is I took, which one did we do? Wavy 3. I thought that'd be really cute with all the swimsuits. Wavy 3 is the tighter wave. So on that one, I took the 4x4 and then I just smooshed it. That's the word, smoosh. All right, so I'll show you on software how to do that, but you can easily do it on your machine. You've seen us do it before on other tutorials. So, but we need our quilting design for this block to be 3x4. All right, so I said 4x5 for the batting. Hopefully I remembered that. All right, so that is number 38. For number 39, it's the same thing, same size, everything. So it's the white with red dots, and we're going to cut this to 3.5 by 4.5. So our batting is going to be 4x5. And then for this one, I chose wavy 2 in a vertical, wavy 2. And again, we have to smoosh it. So if our fabric is 3.5 by 4.5, then we want our quilting design to be 3x4. So again, they don't have a 3x4, so I used the 4x4 and then smooshed it, made it a little bit more narrow. And there is a specific button on our machines to do that, so you can do it on your machine. I'm going to do it in software because I'm going to merge all of these blocks together, and I'll show you how if you choose to do that. So 3.5 by 4.5 fabric, quilting design wavy 2 in vertical, and smooshed to 3x4. All right, and don't forget, when I say 3x4, the actual quilting design is 3.5 by 4.5 because they have the 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the block. So when you do smoosh it, you want it to read on your machine as 3.5 by 4.5, but the actual quilting design will be 3x4, just to fully confuse you. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so that was 39. So our last one for today, number 40, is this super cute. It's got crabs and life preservers. It's light gray. I think it looks like gray to me. Crabs and life preservers. And this one we're going to cut to 6.5 by 4.5. And so we want our batting to be 7x5, 5x7 batting. And I've chosen wavy 1. I thought that would be really cute. That's the thicker waves than the wavy 3. So wavy 1, and our quilting is going to be in 4x6, or actually it's 6x4 because of it being larger horizontally. So in this one, I did the vertical and it's turned on my hoop. So 4x6 wavy 1 in vertical, and our batting, as I said, 5x7. So those are the 5 blocks that we're going to do today. And then after we finish our border blocks, getting them all quilted, we are going to piece section 1 together. Oh my gosh, so exciting. All right, so as far as our quilting, like I said, I'm going to merge mine together. You can do them separately, that's totally fine. If you do merge them together, keep in mind that your machine is going to not stop for each like I'll do all of my battings together so I can cut them at once. And I'll show you on the embroidery software, if you keep those stops in there, that is totally fine. I'm going to merge them together, so I'll have, I believe, 5 steps total. And so mine is not going to stop, but you can always hit that green button on your machine. Where is it? This button here, the little start and stop button. You can hit that button just to make sure your quilting, your batting is lined up exactly right, whatever. Very easy to do that. So as far as our quilting today, I haven't decided yet. The easiest thing would be to just have one color in there and run it on all 5. You could easily do that. Keep in mind that this is all in the same section. So if you wanted it to be more different, then you would just stop your machine and change your thread colors. So I've narrowed it down to one of these. Once I get going, I'll decide, and I may change them up for each block or keep as is. I haven't decided yet, but I thought something beachy colors. So a dark gray, this greenish teal, the brighter blue, and then did I say gray? This is navy, sorry, navy. dark gray, navy, greenish teal, or blue. I've got it narrowed down to those. I don't know if I'll do them all the same or all different, but I'll keep you informed as we do the video. So, and then we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna piece it all together for section 1. And I think that's all that I have for today. I gave you all the information on the quilting and the quilting designs and the batting sizes and the fabric sizes. So we should be all good. Let's do it. Hi everyone. So I wanted to give a quick tutorial on how to merge the border blocks together if you choose to go that route. As I mentioned, you can do it on your embroidery machine. You can do them separately in individual hoops for each one. That's completely fine. But I've decided that I'm going to merge mine together in my largest hoop just to save on stabilizer and a little time. So you can see from my shared screen here that I've already done it. You can see the 5 files here that I have merged together, and there's 5 steps. So it's already done, but I'm going to show you how. I just wanted to give you a visual of what it will look like. So this is using my 9.5 by 14 hoop. You can do whatever, you can, like I said, do individually. You can use an 8 by 12 hoop and get some of them in to save on stabilizer, whatever works. So this is the process though. All right. So file new, and we're going to start. I always start with the biggest one. I think it's easier to do the big one and then fit the others around. So the biggest one is number 40, and that is the 6.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to open that one first, and that one I've chosen wavy 1. So I'm just going to find my file here. Let's see, documents, embroidery files, and then sewing. Stipple files, Kimberbell, and wavy 1. And I did vertical, and it's the size that we want for our quilting is 4 by 6. So 4 by 6 vertical, open. All right, so you can see it automatically opens to a 5 by 7 file, and I am going to change adjust hoop. It's this button that looks like a hoop, and I'm going to change to my largest hoop, which is the 9 by, oops, sorry, moving all around too fast, 9 by 14. All right, and then so you would just click on the first one and drag it to somewhere so that you have room for the others. So I put it in the top left corner. All right, and then from there, it doesn't matter, you can just pick the larger ones. In fact, let me show you the 2 that need to be adjusted. So from here, we would go to file merge to bring in our next one. And the first that's 3.5 by 4.5 is the wavy 3. Oops. Wavy 3. All right, and then that one, I'm going to choose the 4 by 4. And then I'm going to move it to somewhere else. Actually, let me zoom out. Excuse the dogs in the background. I'm going to bring it down here. You don't want them too close because keep in mind that you need room for your fabrics. So I'm just going to put it here for now. All right, so on this one, remember that we want it to be 3.5 by 4.5. It's currently 4.5 by 4.5. You can see up here in the corner. So like we've done before on the others, you just smoosh it. And on this one, it's easy because it's not going to distort because it's the wavy. All right, so, oh, look at that. We've already got it. 3.5 by 4.5. Done. How easy was that? All right, so we're going to move this over here. And then we need another one of those that's that same size. I've chosen wavy 2. So file merge. And find wavy 2 in a 4 by 4. And then look at these, there's 2 different. This is the horizontal one, and then this is the vertical. I did the vertical. I think that'll look nicer when we smoosh it. So it is going to distort the design. So you can choose one that doesn't distort, like lines would not distort. I decided that I like this, and I think it's totally fine. So just move that one over, and then like the other, just smoosh the whole thing. That's too smooshed. Bring it out. So notice, see when it's got that little cross arrow and you're bringing it on the side, and that's where you're pulling it. So let's do it just a tiny bit larger. 3.53, that's totally fine. All right, so that one is all done. You can see it smooshed it a little bit, and I like the look of it. And that one is for the white with red dots. So I think it'll be a nice design for that one. All right, so then we have two more. We've got three so far. So we can bring in the plaid one. I chose plaid. So the one that goes above the swimsuits, it's the light green fabric. It's number 36. I'm going to bring that one in. We need the file merge, and that one is 4x2. And I've chosen plaid for that one. You can use any designs that you would want to do. That's totally fine. So 2x4. Actually, all right, well, that's fine. 2x4. All right. So preferably we'd want 4x2, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to put our fabric over it. So it doesn't matter at all. All right, so bring this one over, and this one doesn't need any adjusting. All right, so I'm using my scroll button on my mouse. This little button, you can see it's bringing the, I don't have to zoom in and out. I can just move it up and down. I'd have to zoom in and out if I want to show you the whole hoop, but I'm just showing you for now because we're going to just move easily. All right, so this one. All right, and then we should still have room for our 2x2. So on our last one, file merge, I've chosen swirl 2. I have it under the floral, swirl 2, 2x2. How cute is that? That's definitely one of my favorites. All right, and then you could bring it here. It doesn't matter how you arrange these as long as you have room in between them. So like I'm going to move this one down. So I would just click on the whole thing and drag it down just so that I have enough room on this. Okay, so now you can see we have, move my head out of the way. So just under 9 by just under 13. And how many steps do we have? A lot. So we have 25 steps right now. You can keep that just like that into a file, save as, and then you've got all the steps, and it will do each block separately. So you would run through all of this one, which is 1 through 5, then all of whichever one was next. That is completely fine. It just, you're starting and stopping on your machine. You're already saving stabilizer, you're saving time. But you're using a lot of steps, and that's just hitting go on your button. It's on your machine. It's not a big deal. So you can leave it like that and do a file save as. I instead decided to change the order of the steps. And the reason is because I didn't want to bring my hoop on and off over and over to do the cutting for each one. I wanted it together. So I put all the batting down, and then I cut all of them at one time. And that was really the only thing that I wanted to do all together. So I went ahead and I merged mine. So I'm going to just show you how to do that. If you choose to do that, it's totally up to you. So the key here is, remember we talked about yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the green is our quilting design. So here, I'll show you. See, that is our quilting design. As always, number 1 is the placement for our batting. Number 2 is the tack down of our batting. Number 3 is the placement of the main fabric. And number 4 is the basting stitch for the main fabric. And 5 is the quilting. So if you keep that in mind, it's not hard to merge these around and move them. Or not merge them, sorry, not yet. We're gonna just move them around first to get them all evened up, but you do want to make sure that you're putting them in the right order. Very important, all right? So the easiest thing is just remember the green one is the quilting, all right? And then you know the order of the steps. So let's see. So on this first one is 1 through 5. The next one is 6 through 10. So we'll start with just that. All right, so we know that number 6 is our placement of our batting, which can go right under here, number 1. All right, try not to let me confuse you too much. So, but you would just click on this, and then I think it's shift that and click and move. Yeah, you use your mouse button to move it, and then you would just bring it up to number 2. All right, easy. So let's go ahead and do all of those. It will always be the one that's right after the green. Okay, so we did the first one and the second one. The first one was already there. So the third one we know is going to be after the green. So that would be number 11. So we're going to shift and move it up here to number 3. Easy, right? Next one is 15. So the one right after that is going to be our placement for our batting. So we're going to take that, click on it, shift, move it up here to number 4. All right. And the last one is number 21, right after the green. Click on that and move it up. Make sure you can see it. Click on it, shift, move it up to number 5. All right, so those, all of those now are the batting placements. So look, you can click on them and see it's the batting for each of those 5 blocks. All right, then click outside of it. All right, now we're going to do the tack down of the batting for all of them. So again, it's always going to be the one right after the green. Okay, so here we've got this one. So I should mention also, so you can see that there's blue and yellow. The placements for batting and main fabric are blue, and the placements for the main fabric and tack down are yellow. So unfortunately, it'd be easier if they were different colored, which you can do, by the way. You could do that beforehand if you wanted to. Just right click on it, change the color. I think it was right click. Is that right? No, it's just regular click. Yeah, regular click, and then you would choose a different color. So you can change them before you start moving them. If you think you'll get confused, that's totally fine. But for me, I find the easiest is just to remember it's always the one after the green. All right, so we've already got this one done. So we're going to go ahead and move number 10, click on it and right click, shift, move it up. Not right click, sorry, regular click, shift, move it up to after number 6. So same thing after the green. So this is our green, which is our quilting. So this number 14, click, shift, move it up. And then after the green right here is this one, click, shift, move it up. And after the green here, click, shift, move it up. Yeah. Okay, so we have those 5. So all of those are now the tack down of our batting. Yay. Okay, so now we're going to do the placement for the main fabric. So that's number 11 here. And again, it's going to be the first one after the green. That's the easiest way to remember. So click on it, move it up to underneath number 11. All right, the one after the green is number 17. Click on it, shift, move it up to right after those other blues. So number 13 now. So here we have the green, blue, click, move, click, shift, move. All right, and last one after the green, this blue, shift, and move it up. All right, so now we have our 5 together of the placement for our main fabric. All right, so the last one is going to be the basting stitch for each one. And keep in mind, you can keep these separate if you think it'll be hard to get all of your stuff together. So when all of these start moving, like say that you put all of your batting down, if you see that one moves, you just hit that stop button on your machine and get it all straight, because it's going to jump around to each of these blocks. That's why I was saying if you don't want to reorder the steps, you don't have to. I'm choosing to do it this way. All right, so after the green is this first yellow, number 18, shift, move it up to now number 17. Then the next yellow up with the other yellows right behind it. Number 22, shift up behind the next yellows. And the last one, click, shift, move it up. All right. Now you could easily do a save as here. You can save this and then you just hit the button every time it's done with a step. And then you don't have to worry about where it's going to jump to the next part. That's super easy to do. Leave it like this. Very easy if you choose. Or if you feel confident in how it's going to move all around, and you're going to be prepared and get ready to hit that stop button if you need to, then you can merge the steps. All right, so you see that we've got them all together. So we would go to edit, join threads, and join all adjacent threads of the same color. So right now we have 25 steps. When I hit OK, we have 5 steps. Look at that. Easy. So just keep in mind, this isn't the type of thing that you're going to put in your machine and walk away, go eat lunch. You'll have to babysit it a little bit. All right, because we're going to be kind of jumping to get to each of those blocks, especially because we didn't put them in order. We put them to where they fit nicely. All right, so I'm all done. So what am I going to do? We're going to save as. Always save as. Super important. So if you clicked save, then your 4x6 wavy, that was the first one we pulled in, now is this with all of these blocks. So always save as. So file, save as, decide where you want it. Like I said yesterday, I keep mine in my vintage Boardwalk so that if I do this quilt again, I'm all prepared. And then just name it whatever. Section 1, we're working on section 1. Tutorial, section 1, grouping, whatever you want to name it as, but save it as with a new name. All right, then you have a separate file. And that's it. We're done and we're ready to go stitch. All right, let's do it.